Well, there's a party tonight on Haunted Hill. Vincent Price is gonna try to kill his lusty, busty, champagne swilling spouse.
Hello, I'm Faith, and welcome to Faith's Take, where I talk about anything and everything that I find interesting. And welcome to part 2 of my Psycho Trilogy, with my review of RiffTrax SanFranPsycho. With a title as utterly ridiculous as that, how can we lose? The movie itself was made in 2006, which both does and doesn't make sense as it unfolds, but the riff was released just last year in July of 2021, making it the most recently released movie and riff in the Psycho Trilogy. This film, unsurprisingly, takes place in San Francisco, where also unsurprisingly, Psycho is on the loose, unaliving people left and right. But who is to save us from a cold-hearted killer roaming the streets of San Fran? Why, none other than the soul taker himself, Joe Estevez. Yup, this is gonna be fun. So let's dive right into my review of RiffTrax SanFranPsycho. We open pretty gruesomely as far as, well, pretty much any film is to be concerned, with a bald man suffocating a woman with plastic wrap and then dropping an F-bomb all in the first 30 seconds. Sure, YouTube will be kind to us with this video. He then takes a Polaroid of the victim and strolls downtown San Francisco, which I'm absolutely sure the crew had all the shooting permits for. That's why it's all done at night. The next morning, we rise with Joe Estevez, who tunes into himself on the news, as he's a detective who's been quite busy. The Exposition news station goes on to tell us that this is actually the latest victim in the killer's spree, and Joe had recently found a murdered, cheating, but legally separated couple and a prostitute as well. Make sure you're already catching up on all the subtext of the victims here, guys. Turns out Joe isn't the only one who loves Exposition first thing in the morning, as the killer is watching at the same time. We then get to watch him scrawl an angry letter in real time. After catching our breath from that thrilling scene, we get a real-time phone call with Joe asking the reporter, named Rita, where she got her info, as clearly there must be a leak in the police department. She gives the stellar performance only a Valley girl could give, and tells Joe her sources are confidential.
What's this? Something wholesome?
Sure.
Well, jury's still out.
Pigs. That should have been the last line of Orwell's Animal Farm.
I left my heart.
I'd rather listen to his version than Michael Bublé's.
Guys, has Pumpkin Patch Pictures ever made a bad film?
Not that I know of.
Ah, Joe Estevez. A name that says Joe Estevez needed beer money.
Oh, Joe. Oh, son of a... Okay, another movie. You can do this, Joe.
The pancake mix and back. It's attempting an escape.
Run!
A vampire! Yeah, right.
The only reason he doesn't put vermouth in his coffee is because he knows he's being filmed.
According to police, in an area typically known for its views of the city, the couple was attacked by an unknown assailant and left dead just minutes before another couple discovered them and called police.
Depressed
SFPD
news.
issued a
We're
statement
depressed.
last night.
Now, according to the medical examiner, they were dead only a short time. And as of this time...
That's how intently I watch diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Detective, is it true?
Yes, the two people were married, and they were married to other people, but they were legally separated.
Tiny picture on the right side of the screen. Anything to add?
And they've been totally... Any more questions?
Joe, can you get my West Wing
Thank you
spec
very
script
much
to your
for
brother?
The female victim was suffocated to death with a plastic bag. That's all the information I have for you right now. More details as they become available.
This has been
Please
local
be sure
news,
to
and
tune
yes,
in
we
with us
still
tonight with
exist
my
for some
special
reason.
report at 6.
Wonder if there are any good angrily scrawled manifestos like,
"Hey, police, I just want you to know you're doing a great job. Enjoy the enclosed oatmeal cookies."
That's right. Sound it out. You're getting to be such a big boy. Guy gets winded doing that? Really needs to spend some time on a treadmill.
That's good advice, Mike.
Yes, Miss Franco?
Joe, did you lose your license again?
My name is Detective Culp with the
Look, I'll save you the trouble, okay? No one in your department told me anything.
It's nice to be able to shoot a whole scene while Joe's cousin drives him to the eye doctor.
I'm not at liberty to say.
This is an ongoing investigation. People are dying out there.
Hey, Joe, ease into the acting. You've got a whole movie to go.
Pace yourself,
Have
buddy.
you ever heard? Now, if you don't talk to me,
I'll start telling Rollergator
tell me
jokes.
who your sources are.
Rita quickly changes her tune about confidentiality after discovering the handwritten letter on her car windshield. She runs to Joe's office, and it happens that this isn't even the first letter she received, but the second that day. She confesses the news station had gotten the first addressed to her early that morning, and that was her anonymous source the whole time. Why she wouldn't have immediately shared that with the cops is beyond any logical sense, but it's what the script did, so here we are. After Joe gives the orders to his man to dust the letters and her car as thoroughly as possible, we get to see the killer again. And while they could attempt to build suspense or show us how crazy he is in his day-to-day life, they show us his workout routine in his disheveled living room instead. He gleefully watches the news to see the report about him once again, and heads out into the night to do unspeakable things.
Nice parking job, head. Hey!
Wow, it couldn't have taken the person who wrote this more than 13 seconds. Hey, should I clean that bird crap off the windshield?
Keep rolling.
Okay. They had no money for an angry chief. Joe has to be his own.
It's the second one I received. That was on my windshield when I was leaving my office.
The second.
Are you aware that I have
How
5
did you get
small
the first
electronics within 1 foot of me?
This one was slipped in the mail slot at the news station. Must have done it in the middle of the night. They gave it to me this morning. It was addressed to me, and that's how I had the details of the murders for this morning's newscast.
Uncritically reporting on notes slipped under your door. Journalism.
With you.
Anyhow, I thought we could help each other out.
She obviously thinks this is just a camera rehearsal and she's saving it for a real take.
Well, he's written me twice. Are you sure these letters are actually from the killer?
On a bet, she just downed a whole bottle of Ambien.
And he's the only one that knows how the victims were killed.
Or that I have 2 packs of instant oatmeal on my desk. Right there.
Joe, this is Rita Franco from Channel 4 News.
Chicken, corn, onions.
Well, I want to know everything about this ink. I want to know everything about this paper. I want to know everything about this.
Yes, everything about the letter. I'm sure they know the drill.
Everything. Yes.
Your car, and we're going to have an officer in front of your house 24 hours a day. It's going to be all right.
Whoa, guy's got killer abs. No.
And the dustpan on the filthy carpet really draws the eye.
Used on the male victim last night. Without official word from police, it appears we have a serial killer in the San Francisco Bay Area.
I'm gonna take a nap now.
Joe's science guys are unable to trace anything about the letters or the car Rita gave to them, leading to Joe leaning into his constant mood in this film, mumbly frustration. In the meantime, Rita gets an escort home and is told an officer will be outside her house at all times. Better than nothing, but I would under no circumstances be staying at my place if a serial killer knew both my place of work and my car. Across town, the killer follows a blonde lady taking what must be a scenic route home, because it takes a while. They ride the train with him glaring at her, somehow unnoticed, the whole time. She slowly walks to her door, must be deaf as she doesn't hear him coming up behind her, and doesn't close and lock her door right behind her. He tackles her to the ground, and she begs for her life. Sleep well, audience. After that tragic display, the movie switches gears to a scene of Rita bringing her officer, Eckersley, some coffee. She goes back inside to find that the killer has been in her house, and instead of, running out of the house screaming for her officer who's right outside, she calls him on a radio instead. He tells her to run to a neighbor's house alone, because why keep the threatened woman in your line of sight? And while he casually searches one room, Eckersley doesn't find the maniac.
Yeah, we just got done with the car. No prints, no hairs, nothing. Just her prints.
So prints!
The paper could be found at any office supply store. Same as the pen, untraceable.
But he did sign his full name and had it notarized. Is that anything?
All right, let me know.
So what do we do about these reporters? I mean, the phone's been ringing off the hook ever since the newscast, and You know we can't dodge him forever.
Reporters and phone ringing off the hook, not pictured for budgetary reasons.
Till tomorrow, all right? Till tomorrow.
So you're gonna stay here all night?
Yeah, I sure am, all night.
Todd Bridges, probably the biggest name in the movie, introduced in the dark with 93% of his body not showing.
But,
Sorry, Todd.
Well, you know, you have a good night.
You too.
Well, their plan is flawless unless her house has a back door, side doors, or back or side windows. Otherwise, I see no flaws.
I smell a meat cute.
Yeah, they bump into each other. She drops her purse and it spills everywhere. He sees that she uses the same kind of pen he does to write his murder notes, and they laugh and laugh.
The City of San Francisco and Bay Area Rapid Transit do not endorse, condone, or have any awareness whatsoever of this film's production.
Well, an obvious creep is staring at me on the train, but at least it's not Joe Estevez for once.
He's being too subtle. He needs a big flashing neon sign that says, "I'm the Psycho. I am going to kill you."
Hi, can I watch the news at your house tonight? My cable's out.
What do you want from me?
I want to kill you.
Golden Corral's new slogan.
Finally got down to basics there.
Beyond Bitch Mug, welcome to the Grim Murder Movie.
Can you make it some coffee? I really can use some right now.
Sure. How do you take it?
Cream and sugar, please.
A half soy venti with medium froth and caramel ribbons, thanks.
Okay, I'll bring it up.
You know, I don't know how people can drink this black. It's just too bitter. Thank you very much for the coffee.
Coffee opinions. SanFranPsycho.
Her grocery list. She forgot the ketchup.
No, he's somewhere in the house.
All right, listen. You go to your neighbor's house, you stay there till I call you, all right? Go.
Go out into the darkness. He'll be here looking the other
Officer
way.
needs assistance and considered armed and dangerous.
She doesn't actually know any of her neighbors, but she was too embarrassed to tell him that.
Hell of a search here, officer. Want to check any of the other rooms in the house? Nah, you're good? Hide and seek, not really your game, huh?
Joe calls his main man, whose character name is Joe, which makes writing this script kind of confusing, and fills him in on everything as this non-Estevez Joe is backing up the latest victim we just witnessed get killed. Joe's mumbly frustration is getting worse as he reads out the new letter, which just so happens to have a Bible verse on it this time, and he stays at Rita's house the rest of the night, instead of just taking her to a non-compromised location where she might actually have a chance. Right-hand man Joe suggests that they ask main Joe's priest friend what he thinks about the killer's letters and patterns so far. The priest doesn't really have to read that far into it to realize the killer must be some sort of religious fanatic, thinking he's cleansing the world of sin. Seeing as how he's killed a married to other people couple, a prostitute, and now an exotic dancer, and left a Bible verse out of context in his letter, I wouldn't doubt it. What I do doubt is that seasoned detectives wouldn't have already picked up on that. The detectives head to Rita's, only to be met with a man who wins the contest for the worst bleached hair job I've ever seen. Turns out he's Rita's boyfriend Barry, who's been out on business, and he told the officer outside to hit the road, saying he could handle it alone. Totally what a sane and loving boyfriend would do when their girlfriend's being stalked by a murderer.
It's not the same MO. Looks like she was strangled by a rope.
So Rope is now our top
But I
suspect.
feel it was the same son of... How the hell did he get past Eckersley?
Yeah, well, that's what I've been asking him since I got here.
Hey, don't blame Eckersley for the film's logic problems.
Send Eckersley home. I'm going to spend the rest of the night here.
You're a married man, Bill.
Hey! Don't with me tonight, Joe, all right? I'm doing my job.
Somehow, the most shocking part of that exchange is that he's married?
I think it's a Bible quote. Hey, Hark, here.
Guest pastor Joe Estevez in the house.
I will bring...
Maybe we can talk to your priest friend. The one that baptized your daughter.
Daughter? Joe's off-screen family is the real star of the show.
Maybe we can talk to him about...
Eckersley, hit the wind, will you? Don't let the door hit you in the ass.
Tough love, but Eckersley is also his son.
Yep, the priest friend baptized him too. Priest walks out with a Bible, nobody says anything. The perfect crime.
So how'd it go? Did you get any sleep?
Slept great. Killer broke in and got Rita, though.
We've missed you in church.
Yeah, well, Father, you know, I've been so busy with
Rollergating and all that, you know.
My partner, Detective Joe Alpha.
Good afternoon, Father. We met at Maya's baptism.
Yes, I remember.
Maya, so this alleged daughter has a name.
The plot thickens.
Well, finally, the third one looks like a quote from the Bible.
If only there were a way to check without consulting a priest.
There are fanatics out there that seem to think that God created evil.
Biblical scholars are still trying to parse what the hell this priest was talking about.
Did he accidentally read a different book, or?
I know about your victims. Nudity is technically not a sin.
But it should be.
But it can fall under fornication if it's used for some type of sexual gratification or arousal.
Okay, he's the killer. I'm convinced.
The church, he believes that he has justification from the Lord.
But killing's still a sin, isn't it?
Joe seems sincerely unsure about that. Oh, the Beyond Bitch mug is okay, thank goodness.
It'd be great if he just wanted to steal that mug and the killing stopped immediately.
It's fine.
Oh, he unlocks the door and she opens it. That's their system.
Hello.
I appreciate all the help you've given Rita while I've been away.
But I can handle this, just like I handle my own hair dye.
All the extra attention.
Thanks, detectives, for everything, but I really do feel a lot better now that Barry's back.
She would have mentioned her boyfriend sooner, but he's obviously very embarrassing.
So, we missed you.
You know that stalker she had in the 90s? She took Krav Maga classes, ended up kicking the shit out of the guy.
What the hell is that? Some type of karate?
What's in the bag? A shark or something?
Self-defense.
So what was the stalker's name?
He died in San Quentin about 5 years ago. I checked him out.
She's had 20 or 30 other stalkers, too. I guess we could have mentioned that.
You give us a call. We're the police. That's our job.
Yeah.
So it's like they want us to think this boyfriend with a cross necklace might be the killer, but we've seen the actual killer killing the people.
And writing the notes.
Oh, yeah, I hadn't forgotten.
The killer doesn't just like to spend his afternoons working out or scrawling letters. He also enjoys looking at Polaroids of his previous murders. He decides to suit up with a knife and head out to make some more photograph-worthy memories. And if you're a fan of James Wan driving and parking scenes, get ready for the next step in this form of cinema, walking and waving scenes. A couple of men walk out of a restaurant and our psycho stalks them a mere 2 yards behind like he did the last woman. One of the men realizes he left his phone behind and they split up. When the second guy comes back, because I guess the killer loves wasting his own time, he follows him into the elevator while looking as suspicious as is physically possible, knocks him off, takes a photo, and leaves. The newest victim's boyfriend, who is clearly not upset enough by his own loved one's death, tells the detectives that he knows of no one who would have wanted to kill his now dead partner. Rita has the night shift and gives out the news of the dastardly deed. She gives Barry a call after work to ask for her ride home, and we get to watch him step out of the shower. Just what you wanted to see as a viewer, right? If so, then shame on you. As Barry goes to pick her up, he finds yet another threatening letter on the car.
Oh, yes, there it is, yes. My photo of the original Starbucks location in Seattle. There I am, in front of the Starbucks. What a magical day. I got coffee. Ugh. I guess we should just be thankful that the movie didn't make us watch him label these envelopes in real time.
Ah, Bert and Ernie. I could never choose a favorite. They're both great.
See, like I said, when he thinks about how digital photography has come to replace the tactile experience of enjoying physical photographs, he just gets so mad! Ah, there's the song. The only song. The only song I can remember ever hearing in my life. Hey, look, a killer! I'm only kidding. It's a boat you could already see. Let's wave at it in the dark.
Looks like Magic the Gathering dweebs are back on the menu, boys.
So wait. Instead of following the first guy directly into the garage, he waited until the second guy went all the way back to the restaurant, recovered his phone, and walked slowly back to the garage? Mm-hmm. He's being paid by the hour? Or?
Yeah, it's easy to overlook being tailed by Tor Johnson.
Hey, would you press kill for me? Sorry, 3. Press 3.
Oh, God, finally. I mean, oh no, how terrible. What a monster this is.
I've already told you officers twice.
Detectives?
Oh, sorry. Bit distracted right now, you gigantic horse's ass.
And by the time I pulled the car around, he was dead.
Look, son, I know you're distraught, but I gotta ask you this while it's still fresh in your mind.
Do you think that my brother is that much better an actor than me?
Bicycle, and look, it was either personal or it...
Personal? He was the sweetest person. He didn't have one enemy.
Wait, no enemies? What's the point of even living?
Hey, director of SanFranPsycho, it's so much of this movie filmed at night to, avoid filing the proper permit?
No, kid, for a sinister atmosphere. Dark and sinister, which is that what you got. Okay, then, gotta go.
If they happen to be in the pier between the hours of 5:30 and 6:30, and remember
the 5:30 and 6:30 that happened around 2 a.m.?
Moldy grout. I mean, hello.
Hello?
Hey,
Are you all right?
yeah, I'm fine.
All right. Okay, I'll be there soon.
Test audiences demanded. We want to see Barry showering.
What the
How many yard sales are the Andersons gonna have this year?
Rita and Barry call the detectives, and Barry gets chewed out for touching the letter and car as he could have destroyed evidence. But seeing as how there's never been any evidence left behind at all, I'd say Barry didn't actually screw up too bad here. The letter once again includes biblical text, so the priest is called back. As before, everyone seems to agree the killer must be a religious fanatic. However, Joe number 2 suggests maybe he isn't actually religious at all, but using the verses as an alibi. If he murders seemingly in the name of God, a jury would call him crazy and he might get away with an insanity plea. But if he was just a cold-blooded killer, he could still get the chair. Why they wouldn't give the chair to someone killing while wrongfully using the name of God, I don't know, but I'm not a detective. The group of cops, priest, news anchor, and bleached boyfriend decide to go on air and try to humiliate the killer. They release the letters and announce that they don't believe he's really killing to cleanse the world. Baldy has a complete meltdown over this, which means death can't be too far off.
Detective Alba.
Hi, Detective, it's Rita.
I'm down to my last post-it. Please help.
I got his voicemail. Well, Barry picked me up in a panic.
Why? What happened?
Well, he
Yeah,
was
Barry
coming
sure
after
looks
he found the
panicked.
letter on his windshield.
What? Where is it? Just wait there, don't move, and don't touch anything else. We're on our way.
Okay.
He's super pissed at you.
The city has become a cesspool of filth and human garbage. The flood is coming. It is his choosing.
Weird new tone for the family circus.
Does it mean it?
Leviticus chapter 18, verse 22, I believe.
Leviticus was the original Beyond
Seems like he has
bitch.
a thing against
You know what, Bill? I think all his letters are just bullshit.
He's pulling an Estevez, gonna read right from his script.
He knows what he's doing is wrong.
Check the script.
He wears gloves to hide his identity.
Check the
If
script.
he really hated homosexuals, he wouldn't let the other guy live.
And check the script.
He's writing up all this stuff.
For each passage specifically to excuse each killing.
And to be honest, he's probably read more of the damn thing than I have.
In the first.
And we gotta discredit this guy.
Really ruin this serial killer's
We
reputation.
gotta prove that all his murders are premeditated. That he's nothing more than a cold-blooded, psychopathic serial killer.
Who is arguing otherwise?
What's the defense?
What do you want to do?
Let's beat him at his own game.
You mean murdering?
Let's use his methods against him.
Again, sounds like you're suggesting we kill a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get the popcorn.
He's having a blast.
Killer has been sending a couple of letters in the past week in a lame attempt to try to convince us that he's crazy.
His sweaty QVC pitchman demeanor calms a frightened public.
Well, let me read to you one of his ramblings.
If we learn to care for others, to respect others, we'll learn to...
I killed those 3 b****s. What are you gonna do about it, stupid? Well, there you go.
Please, gentlemen, show some respect for the 3 bitches.
He thinks he's this big man, but a coward. Plain and simple.
He's not watching the press conference. Someone just really overbid in the showcase showdown.
And I've dealt with serial killers in the past.
Are serial killers really something you deal with?
Letters,
you just whack him with a rolled-up newspaper and say, "Hey, knock it off."
After last, we'll do more on the story as information becomes available. You can download excerpts from the letter.
Full we so.
I don't want to see this guy hump a red dress.
Oh, but a blue dress?
Oh, that'd be great. Fingers crossed.
Sounds like my son when he found out the tooth fairy wasn't real.
You're gonna die, kid.
My favorite line from the Great Muppet Caper.
Rita's mother, who's had no idea how nuts her daughter's life has been the last couple of weeks, invites her to dinner. Joe assures her that her assigned officer will escort her there and back home. Sidekick Joe makes fun of Joe, insinuating that there's something between him and Rita, which is weird, especially since Rita has Barry and Joe is apparently married and has a child. That night, the psycho killer runs in front of a car, and when the driver gets out to confront him, never do that by the way, he stabs him to death and steals the car. He then somehow is able to tail Rita and Eckersley to Rita's mom's house? How? He pulls up like right behind them. Is Eckersley so bad at his job he can't see a car following them for an entire ride across town? Rita decides to tell her mom about the truth of the murderous stalker, because that's such pleasant dinner conversation. The mother's rightfully very concerned, but Rita insists everything is fine, because it's been going so great up to this point. Of course she's wrong, because as soon as she leaves, the killer's left a note inside her mother's house. Rita and Eckersley get back in time, but that just proves for, what, the 3rd time now, how incompetent this whole group really is.
My ass is vibrating.
See, Jed Bartlett never got dialogue like that.
My mother's forcing me to have dinner with her tonight at 8, and what do I do about the officer you left with me?
That's not a problem. He can escort you to your mom's, and then he can escort you back. That's his job.
He's currently the only one doing his job.
Just...
Since when does she call you Bill?
And since when do you start listening in on my telephone conversations, you pervert?
Well, maybe if you turn the volume down on your cell phone, it wouldn't be a problem.
No denial of pervert allegations. Interesting.
You stupid asshole. I almost killed you just now.
My anus has a mensa level IQ, sir.
Almost doesn't count.
Oh God, you're some sort of serial friend killer, Cisco.
SanFranPsycho.
Okay, we'll workshop it.
Honey, that terrible director is back with his camera.
Turn off the lights and pretend we aren't home.
But if you do need anything, come in, okay?
No problem. Take as long as you need.
The guy who failed miserably is back on the case, so rest easy.
I gotta tell you something, but I don't want you to get upset.
I'm in a movie with the guy from Baby Ghost.
What is it, dear?
Did you watch my newscast this morning or this evening?
No, I'm sorry, sweetie.
I watch one with production values.
There's even an officer outside. He's watching the house right now. They're guarding me 24/7. Barry installed an alarm system at the house, so I'll be okay.
Barry only electrocuted himself 4 times.
I want you to trust me that everything's gonna be fine. They're very close to catching him.
They think they're on the verge of finding a clue.
My ass is vibrating again.
Okay, saying it a second time merits a trial at The Hague.
Just like the other ones.
All right, thanks.
I can't believe doing nothing didn't work.
Oh, great. My daughter dropped one of her "your meal sucked and here's why" letters. Why can't she just talk to me?
Yeah, Mom, what is it?
Hello, Rita. Hi, I wanted to get to you before you got too far away. I think you left a letter behind.
Looks like a do not resuscitate order, but I don't remember signing one.
It's nothing, Ma.
This envelope with your name on it on the floor near where you were sitting.
Mom, get out of the house!
What?
Go outside! The killer is in the
What a bold new innovation in where the killer is coming from.
Oh my God, are you all right? What is going on here?
Third parking scene in the same location? Even James Wen isn't that crazy.
Stand by.
Get in the car, Mom!
Should I teleport through the windshield? I am getting in the car.
After discussing the situation with the Joes, they assure Rita's mom the killer's nearly caught. Something that seems less true now than it did nearly 2 weeks ago when all this started. The latest letter tells Rita she was supposed to be different, but now more people will die because she lied on air to him. Joe tries to get in touch with the priest, but, as thriller and horror movie cliches go, the call can't go through. The killer is, as you could probably guess, in the priest's house since they can't get a hold of him. And the killer admits to the priest that, indeed, he does not kill for religious reasons, but just because he likes it so much. He then shoots the priest, which is weird since everyone else has been stabbed or strangled. I guess he just wanted to mix it up. And as the Joes investigate the crime scene, Rita and her rock-stupid ex-Marine boyfriend try to settle in for the night. Barry screams he could kill all the cops, though given these particular cops, that doesn't seem too difficult. But the killer is one step ahead and has already killed the one right outside of their door. He makes his way inside, having already cut the phone line and stealing Barry's gun. And to wrap up this movie, both Rita and Barry get shot in the head. And we close with Joe Estevez and team coming to the conclusion that Barry was the killer the whole time, and the real SanFranPsycho gets away to kill another day. What an uplifting ending.
What does that mean?
I wish I knew the answer.
You were ready to hang a mission accomplished banner 5 minutes ago.
And I'm going to have a patrolman right outside your door the whole night.
Well, hell, that failed miserably the first 2 times. Let's do it again.
Still under police.
Glamour shot of some British ladies. Standard priest decoration.
There's no answer.
Bastard must have cut the cell phone lines.
How to remain oblivious of your surroundings.
What are you doing in my house?
House or storage locker?
How'd you find me? Scary how much information you can get on the internet for a few bucks, isn't it?
Yeah, the dark web is full of priest locators for hire.
God! I don't care about your God. Or your devil.
I'm a big Habakkuk fan.
I kill because I like it. Brings me pleasure to see their pain.
You might be confusing pleasure with sweat.
Crime scenes. Great place to sit down and relax.
Yeah. Well, let's just hope that it ends here.
I thought every 10 seconds of this movie.
Maybe we should have listened to the police.
What for? They put a cop outside anyway. Those idiots can't protect their own asses.
Their own vibrating asses, please.
I'm not gonna let anything happen to you.
They're trained for this. They're cops.
I'm a Marine. I killed Taliban with my bare hands. I could take out every one of those cops by myself.
Provided they're all clones of Barney Fife. Maybe.
Barry, I know you.
He looks like a Boris Johnson stunt double.
We'll have to communicate in semaphore.
I know it is. I killed it.
There's a bargain bin Michael Chiklis in my kitchen. Nice.
Pig.
Come on, at least switch up your post-murder insults. Show a little creativity.
Horrible. No one should have to die on such bland carpeting.
You can't blame yourself, Bill.
Bullshit. Bullshit!
My review of SanFranPsycho.
I had a feeling about the guy. I should have checked him out. Manslaughter as a juvenile. He gets thrown out of the Marine Corps after beating the shit out of an officer?
Then he sneaks a pack of hot tamales into a movie theater.
Yeah, just finished the preliminary exam of the crime scene.
And?
Yep, best to give Joe 1-syllable lines.
GSR and Bear.
He's not hitchhiking. He's just letting all the drivers know they're doing a wonderful job.
Thumbs up.
Where are you headed?
Phoenix?
Hop in, I'll take you as far as I go.
I'm headed to La Brea. I'm going to start a competing tar pit. Wow, okay, well, that, I guess, was SanFranPsycho.
It sure was.
There was violence, there was horror, there were ass vibrations, and hey, if you're a fan of Zindy the Swamp Boy, you have to appreciate the grim, hopeless ending.
This is definitely one of the darker movies RiffTrax has done, for 2 reasons. One being, we see a couple brutal killings on screen, even when the acting from the killer is awful. I mean, a woman being suffocated and another begging for her life aren't exactly light fare, no matter how poorly it's delivered. It's also one of the dreariest due to the fact that the hero fails, the woman dies, and they pin it on the wrong, also already dead man, so the real villain gets away. It's very season 2 of MST3K that way, when about half the movies ended with the leads dying. But despite the film being a downer, its tone is hard to take seriously, with a villain who overacts and a leading lady who underacts. Joe Estevez is just always acting grumpy, though I guess it's warranted given his situation. And hey, at least it isn't Rollergator. But with a setup for such a simultaneously grody and goofy thriller, it is perfect fodder for our trio. Mike, Kevin, and Bill bring their A-game as you can expect from any Estevez featuring film. It's a great addition to your collection, especially during this, the thrillingest time of the year. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and special thanks to my spooky Patreon supporters, including Jackie Ball, Kevin Nata, and Isabella Summit. I've been having a blast with the Psycho Trilogy so far, and I hope you have too. Also, if you're interested in RiffTrax and Mystery Science watch parties for a good cause, join me on Twitch every Saturday in November for some St. Jude live streams. I'll be streaming all day with fun rewards for you guys and punishments for me, so I really hope to see you there. Link, as always, is down in the description. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys later.
Haunted Hill. Who's going to the after party?